Okay, so today what we're going to do is talk about gustation, which is the sense of taste. There are five primary tastes. Like when you were in elementary school, you may have just learned four, but what they detect are just chemicals. That's all they detect. So when we taste sour, we're actually tasting hydrogen ions. Think, if something's acidic, it's going to taste sour. Whenever we detect sweet, we actually detect carbohydrates or glucose. When we detect bitter, we're actually detecting alkaloids or very basic compounds or more basic compounds. When we detect salty, we detect sodium ions. And when we detect umami, which is that savory taste, this is the one you may have not heard about unless you listen to soy sauce commercials because they always talk about it with the relationships of just soy sauce. But it's a meaty taste, so it tastes savory. And what you're actually detecting there are amino acids. Remember that the specifically L-glutamate, but that is what proteins are made up of. So you have that savory, meaty taste in meats and proteins, things like that. Let's go back up here because this is kind of interesting to the bitter or the alkaloids. If we look at your tongue right back here, oh, sorry. We have these big valate papillae right here, and those are really sensitive to bitter. They're right in the back of the tongue because a lot of toxins have a bitter taste, so we tend to want to spit them out whenever they hit those bitter taste buds back there. We're going to talk more about those bitter taste buds in just a little bit, or the valate taste buds. Okay, so taste is involves the olfactory. Remember, as we chew, the olfactory sense actually got the chemical molecules go up to where the olfactory epithelium is, and that's in the very roof of our nasal cavity. So as we chew, we get the sensation of taste and smell. And actually, 80% of taste actually comes from the olfactory sense. That's how we get so many different types of taste. Because essentially, all we can taste with our taste buds are sweet, sour, bitter, salty, umami. Think about how we can't taste anything when we have a cold. When we have a cold, we can't dissolve the chemicals in our olfactory sense so that they don't dissolve right so we don't get the taste we get whenever we have colds. Um, the structure of the taste bud in young adults, they can have 10,000 taste buds all over the tongue, the roof, the throat, the epiglottis, everywhere in your mouth itself. So a lot of times kids don't like things because they taste things more readily, or they have many more taste buds than older people do because they do decrease with age. A lot of times that's why we like things more, like different flavors as we get older because they aren't as intense. They are found in the taste bud itself is found in the papillae. There's three types: the valate, the fungiform, and the filiform. Now, the filiform actually does not taste. The filiform is all over the surface, and it's actually touch receptors. Think about how our, like how when something's in our mouth, we can really tell it. I think I've talked about that before, that our mouth is very, very sensitive to touch, and so is our tongue with the filiform, which is most of the surface of the tongue. Then we have the valate, which is an inverted V, and then we have mushroom-shaped fungiform that are scattered all over the tongue. If we look again at this picture, oh, let me try that again. Oh, sorry. Okay, here we go. Now, okay, here's the valate, and you can see the fungiform. They're a little bit mushroom-shaped in here, and the filiform are everywhere. If you look at this picture, this is the fungiform. It's because it looks like a mushroom, okay? These are the filiform right here. They look like pointy things. Think about, a cat's tongue, being, sharp, but these are actually the tactile receptors. If we go down into these crevices of the fungiform, then, or that's the valate, sorry, my fault. This is the the fungiform here. This is the filiform. This is the valate, the bigger one. But you can see better how it is. These are the exact same way. Is that what you have this taste pore right here, and you have a gustatory hair that is the receptor. So if you are going to get into this area of the valate and the area of the fungiform, you have to go down deep. And to do that, you have to have whatever you're tasting dissolved in saliva. If you have a dry mouth, you can't taste things as well because it will not go down into these cracks and crevices of the fungiform and the valate papillae. So you have the epithelium around it, and then you have the receptor cells in here and the supporting cells in there. And each one of these, is a taste bud. Okay, so this is the taste bud itself. Sorry, this is a taste pore, but this is a bud itself. You have so many of them in each fungiform and valate papillae. Remember, they both detect taste. Okay. The stimulation of gustatory hair, like I said, the tastants have to be dissolved in saliva, and then they enter down through the pore, down to those crevices, and it hits the hair cell, and then you can actually detect taste. Again, taste is 80% from the olfactory sense. I think that's about it. Okay. And we might talk, I want to talk a little bit about super tasters because some of y'all might be super tasters. Super tasters are picky eaters because they have a lot of taste buds, just like the kids do. And they don't, because they have so many, there are certain tastes that are really overwhelming to them, especially like broccoli or cabbage or Brussels sprouts. So if you don't like those things, you could be a super taster and have a whole bunch of taste buds. Okay, guys. See you next time. Bye.